Good morning, crafters. It is Nemi Batstone here with Nemi's Crafty Cafe. I think I'm like a minute early. Yes, I am. And that is so not normal. Usually I'm a minute late. But anyway, that's fine. That gives me time to set up and make sure everything is working. Okay, yeah, we got volume. We got stuff. But of course, Facebook isn't working properly, so I still don't have comments working very well. So we'll see how that goes. And then we're going to also see what we can do with this month's and soon to be ending. Well, I shouldn't say that. It is not ending, but a new one will be coming this May. So stay tuned for that one. I haven't even looked it up to see if there is what the new product of the month is coming up. I've been so busy crafting and trying to set things up for soccer season and as well as this weekend's creative gathering. I'm only going for a day now because I thought I'd be able to go for the whole weekend. However, my kids, one of my sons now has a soccer match on Friday night outdoors, so that shall be fun. And it's at 6 o'clock, so it kind of ruins my day, and I don't know. We'll see how it goes. Okay, so if you are here, don't forget to like and share and comment. Actually, mostly like and comment or give me a heart. Hearts are always nice, but I can't seem to get who actually shared. I know who shares because if I'm friends with you on Facebook, I see it. But sometimes it doesn't really pop up for me. And now, like I used to be able to click on it and see who shared, comment, liked, and it gives me a list. But now I have to literally go through every comment. It's ridiculous. So anyway, lots of things going on with Facebook I'm not happy about. So I might be switching to YouTube. I will keep that in mind. Good morning, Kathy. Thank you for joining me today. So just a few reminders. I have my DSP share, and I also have my, I forgot to put it here. And that's a little harder to do after it's already in the system. But I have my DSP share coming up, and I also have Card Club coming up, and I'd love it if I can find 5 people who'd be willing to join my Card Club. And there's also the Craft Along. So some of you have already earned the free Craft Along, which is going to focus on new product. So I'm super excited about that. And then I'm going to paste my link here so that you have a whole summary of all the activities of what's going on. So that way, I'm going to see if I hit refresh, if comments will show up, because Kathy wrote a comment and I'll see. Oh, it says 3 comments. Oh, good morning, Debbie. Thank you for joining me. See, it's like I always have to hit refresh, which is ridiculous. And I don't have time to do that in a Facebook Live. So if I do miss you, don't feel bad. I will always go back, and if you were not on the live today, I will comment. Okay, so today, where is the case for this? Today we are working on the new product of the month. So yesterday we used cone flower celebrations, but because of the global design project, and I wanted to remind you that it's currently on the last chance product list. But I'm trying to find the case for this. I had it here. But anyway, it's there. This is the product of the month for April, and it is a die, a very detailed, intricate die. So I just wanted to remind you and share with you some of the little tips and tricks on how to use this die, because there has been lots of posts over the month about how difficult it is to cut with. Hello, good morning, Margaret. Thank you for joining me today. And so I'm going to show you how to use this 2 different ways. Well, maybe even 3, because I can show you what happens. Let's see, what color can I use? Maybe I'll just use this because it's scrap. I was working with scrap yesterday because because I was designing, and I always like to use retired product when I'm designing and not use current, because then if I make a mistake, I don't feel so bad. Okay, so I'm going to pull out some Crazy Wild Wheat. We're going to make a card. I'm going to show you a technique using the dryer sheets, and then another technique using wax paper if you don't have. And then I'm going to show you what it looks like if you just left it as is. So if you don't have either, let's just put this over here so then I know where that is. Okay. I'm going to bring in this is the one time but because we're not really going to move it very much, I'm going to bring my Big Boss in. So I'm going to lift this up, and we're going to bring the Big Boss in because it's a big die. So it can't go in the small one. So we're going to lift this up, and I'm going to lift you up a bit more. Sorry about that. Okay. I'll move this up a bit. Okay. I could take it out actually. Okay, I'll move it sideways. So you still need your plates, your base, and your number 2, depending what emboss and cut machine you use. And the trick with this, normally when we cut with this, and I'm going to use newer pads. Well, I will, because I'm going to use newer plates. I just got new plates in, hallelujah, finally, because my plates were so bad. So normally we would take the plate that you run and cut with and place that on the bottom, and you can, I don't know if you can see that already, but you can see I've used this quite a bit, and you can see the actual pattern of this die on my actual plate. So it's been used. It's been well used already. And normally we would stick our cardstock down and then put our die on top, and then grab our other top plate, slide it on top to make our sandwich, and then run it through the machine. That doesn't work well with intricate dies. You have to do the opposite. So you would normally take your base plate, a shim if that is what's needed. You take your cleanest die, so that would be this, cleanest plate. You take your cleanest plate and put that down, because you're going to reverse your die. So your die is going to go flat, which means the non-cut side is under. So that is why you put your cleanest plate down first. I always like to tilt mine a little bit so that it's going through the machine, adding pressure differently all the way through. And then you put your cardstock over top. Okay? Now, it should work, but sometimes it doesn't. So that's why I want to show you the other 2 tricks. So then now this goes over top. Oops. Like so. And then you run it through your machine. Okay, so now it's a little tight, of course. And I always like to, when it's an intricate die, run it through a second time. Okay, let's see how this turned out. Oh, yeah, I can. So I'm going to lift this up. Good morning, Christine. Thanks for joining. Now I have a few spots here already. So if I was to lift this up, a few of the holes stayed, and you can see what stayed and what didn't. So you've got tons of dots that you need to poke out, and you definitely don't want to do that by hand. So I like to take my brush. Now Stampin' Up! Sells an accessories kit, and this actually comes with it and goes and attaches to the tip of your take a pick tool. So now I have to go like this, and I'm going to brush this. Now, what happens if you don't have this? Well, that's a problem. You definitely want to get one of these. I do not believe other product lines sell them. At least I don't think they do. But what you want to do is pick one of these up. They're very reasonably priced in my online store. Worst case scenario, you can use a toothbrush, a hard bristled toothbrush, and that'll get you what you need. So now you can see, this is, or you can't see. I'm gonna bring you down, so be ready. So you can see all over my glass mat here that there's splatters everywhere. So the more I do this, the more splattering and holes get punched out, which is great. So there's all the holes, but you can still see there are still a few that need to be cleaned out. So you would then just go with take your pick tool and poke through any holes that would have been missed. So it seems like it's a little tedious, right? Like, it's a beautiful die, but that's a lot of work. So actually it wasn't too bad, was it? So this is, what, that took about 15-30 seconds maybe. I don't know, I should have timed myself. Okay, so that's pretty good. But now I have this mess, so now we're gonna take this, shake it over the garbage can. I have a garbage can right here. So when you just shake it off over the garbage can, there's still a few. I just rub the top. You rub the top like this. Most of it comes off, and look, it's clean again, so it's ready to go with another round. Now I'm gonna also take my die and do the same, just to make sure, so that I can get out all the ones that stayed behind, because otherwise I gotta pokey poke figure out which hole all of that left in, and then go through with my take your pick tool. So I think I got most of it. I see a couple spots where it's, I can't see through and it's falling out. Oh, see, there's a few more there. Good morning, Christine. Thanks for joining. Okay, so still a few spots and a little bit of cleanup. So if you were mass batching this, you definitely want to, I'm going to move this out of the way so I can see if there's any holes I missed, because the light shines through and you can see it as well. There's another one. And I think that's pretty good. I mean, you're going to miss one or two here and there, and that's okay. Okay? Now you get this lovely mess, and then this again. So shake it over the garbage can. And sometimes I like to take my vacuum. I have a little vacuum that I use. I just turn it on, and then it sucks up all that beautiful pieces. Okay? A few fly away here and there. And I can clean up my desk of all those bits and pieces. This is something you just get off Amazon, and every time you come to my crop, there's usually one in the prizes. So, because it is one of those tools you just kind of want to have handy. Okay, so there you go. Now you're ready to create with that. Now let me show you a couple other tricks. And then I'm going to lift this up again so I can get my big boss back in. Okay, so you can still see there's lots of bits and pieces, so I'll go again later with my duster and clean all that up. Okay, so another trick we like to use is dryer sheets. So dryer sheets are one of the fun ways, and then plus it makes your cards smell good. So if you're using just a standard bounce, or you can even just use dollar store ones, why spend a lot? But most people have them hanging around unless you use dryer balls. But all I normally do is just fold it in half. Now you can also use a single use, like leave it open if you want. But the reason I fold it in half is it's very tight in there. So I like to fold it up. Hello, Shell. So nice to see you. How you doing? I feel like I've missed you because I don't see your hello. So last couple days, and so nice to see you there. I don't know why, but it's Facebook, I guess. Okay, so to use dryer sheets, so the first one we did, we reversed it, right? So this time, you're going to take your dirtier template and put that down. And then your dryer sheet goes on top. And then your, where is it? Oh, there it is. Then your cardstock sits on top like you normally do. And then you put your plate on top, like so. Just like that. Nothing fancy. The only difference you're doing here than what you normally do is you added a layer of dryer sheet. Now, sometimes I like to, some dies are so intricate that you may want to position it based on the cut lines. So here I could line it up all the way to the top, or I may want to shift it over because depending where those holes are. So just letting you know. Oh, you've been here for every video. How did I miss you? So, I don't know. I guess that's why I reached out to you yesterday, because I was a little worried. So funny. I'm so funny. There's certain people, you know, I just know that are here all the time, and I just miss you, and I worry when I don't see you. But it just could be Facebook, and I missed it in the comments. So, okay. So, I'm going to shift it. I don't know if that'll hold. Well, actually, it can hold if I add tape. So if I add a piece of tape here, just so that I don't have, when I trim it, I have a better trim. Then I can just trim off the bottom here. So I can go like that. And then I'll lay this again on top of my dryer sheet. So what the dryer sheet does, or is supposed to do, is hold all of the silent wallflower. Oh, that's why. So it's supposed to grab all the cut pieces into the dryer sheet so you don't have much of a cleanup. So now we're going to stick our clean plate over top, and then we're going to run it through. And again, I like to do mine 2 times, and you're going to need a lot of muscle. Use that power. I got the power. Now, just because you added that dryer sheet. So if you have an electronic machine, you're very lucky. So I ran it through twice. I'm hoping that's enough. Some people go 3-4 times, but I think that's a little too much. You should believe in your machine. And let's see what happens now. So I'm going to take this off. I'll go up here so it's a little, I have a question. Is the dryer sheet not supposed to go between the die and paper? I think, let's find out. I always thought it was this way, but I could be wrong. Let's find out. I think I'm okay. So there's all the pieces. So this one you can see here, compared to the first one we did, it took a lot more. I should have used the darker color. It took a lot more of the pieces out and saved it on that dryer sheet. And then here, see, so you even have holes here all over the tape. This is removable tape, so I'm just gonna peel that away slowly. And of course it cut through. I'm not concerned because we're just gonna glue this down anyway. So technically I could just leave all this tape there, and I think I will because it's stuck on there pretty good, even though it was nice and dirty and not very stickable. Okay, so I'm gonna leave that. So usually that's how I do it, but you definitely can try it the other way. So now I still have I have way more gone than I did the first one. And so again, I'm just gonna take my sheet, I'm gonna drop you down a bit. Okay, so you can get a better view. Okay, so this is why I don't like to bring in my big shot, because I'm always moving my camera. But anyway, if that doesn't bother you, then, you know, let me know. And I don't mind bringing in my big shot, because it is good for beginners. But this is how usually everything just falls right in. Oakley dokley. So what the dryer sheet does is it allows all those bits and pieces to just stick to it. Less cleanup, easier to work with. I think if I ran it through a 3rd time, more would have stuck to the dryer sheet. Okay. And then that works very well. So now there's just a few holes. If you care, then take your pick tool. Normally I don't. I just leave it if there's extra holes that are not uncovered. But I just wanted to show you so you have a rough idea of how long. Now keep in mind I'm talking and showing this, so that really doesn't take very long. So you might think, oh my gosh, that's so much work. But it really isn't, because I'm chatting and going really slow to show you, because we may have beginners on here who don't really know how to use intricate dies. And so I want to make sure they can see and understand how it works. And now and by the way, the paper smells beautifully. Oh yeah, smells like bounce sheets. Refreshing. So you almost make like a scratch and sniff cardstock piece. Okay, so now we're gonna clean that up. Less to clean, by the way. So I barely have anything on my desk that I can literally just swoop it with my hand, because there's just that much. Not like the first one where there was a ton. Okay, so I'm gonna put that aside again. And now we have this piece, right? So that looks pretty good. And it also feels a lot more pliable because of how many holes and in that sheet. You are doing it right. I always did it between. But here's how you do. This is when you use the between method. So I'm going to bring the camera back up. Sorry. Okay, I'm trying to go slow, so then that way you don't get like drunken. Now you can shake this off and use it a second time by just flipping it over to the back side. Depending how intricate your die is, you can use your bounce sheet multiple times. So don't think that, oh, it's one-time use, because that would be expensive. And you definitely would want to go to dollar store. But you can use it again. For this one, I probably would use it. I would probably use it twice, maybe 3 times, and then get a new bounce sheet. But that's just me. Okay, so let's try another method. And this method is going to use wax paper. So I have a piece of wax paper. You cannot use parchment. The wax allows it to slide. Parchment has no layered film to allow it to slip, I guess. So we're going to, again, go back to method 1, the original method with nothing. And you're going to put your plate in, or your base. Excuse me, I have to take a sip of coffee. Okay. And then you're going to take your clean plate, because we're going to do the reverse. You're going to put your clean plate down. And then you're going to put your die in. And lay your... Oh, I should have checked my die to make sure all the holes are... Oh, yeah. So I didn't poke anything on this one. There's only... Because remember on the first one, I did tons of pokey pokes. So this one, I don't have many. There's like... Potentially... I don't think there's anything coming out there. It looks like there's something stuck in there, but not really. So I got to hold it up to the light so I can see. Yeah, that's pretty clean. So everything stuck to that dryer sheet or to the card and came out easily. So I don't really... Is there anything here? Like, it looks like there's stuff here, but nothing's coming out. So it's just probably a reflection of the table. Oh, there's one. There was one in there. And it's really stuck in there. Doesn't want to come out. Okay. That's not bad. Hey, that's pretty good. Okay, back to this. So we're going back. Rewind. Wax sheet. And so now wax sheet you have to sandwich between your die and your cardstock. Where's my cardstock? Oh, here. So I'm going to stick that there. So again, I'm going to put that on top. Line it up where you think you want it. I think I'm okay here. I mean, I'm not going to worry because I'm going to cut it down. So I am using 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. And then you're going to take your dirty plate and put that on top, because your dirty plate is now going to die cut up. And here's another tip. After I'm done doing a ton of intricate die cuts, I like to I like to wash mine with some dish soap and a scrubby and just go through to make sure all those little pieces have left. How many of you actually clean your plates? Oh, see, because it's wax paper, it's slipping. So my wax paper is always bigger because wax paper comes in a huge roll. So it's always just cut bigger. Stick this back on. I'm going to tape that down because it keeps wiggling because it's wax paper. I would like to know if you actually clean your plates, because you should. You should be cleaning your plates, believe it or not. And I'm just going to line this up so it's right below those open dots there. I don't know if it really makes a difference, to be honest. And I'm going to just put a piece of tape to hold it down on there. Okay. So we're going to lay that on top. And we're going to run it through. Here we go. Add that muscle. And again, I'm going to do 2 times. And I felt it, but didn't hear it click. And then we're going to pop it. There's the pop. Okay, so, oh, look, it lifted right off. Let's see what this looks like. So now we're going to peel this back. And now we have all of this. So it's going to give us a nice clean cut. It's supposed to, because, and sometimes, see, it has that little rip effect. Sometimes it rips the cardstock. And if it rips the cardstock where it's not supposed to rip the cardstock, then you can just use Scotch tape and tape it back up. Or stick a, what do you call it? Tear and tape or mini glue runner. Now you see where it's got the whites? That is the wax paper that transferred, but there's quite a bit of holes that didn't. And there's like a nice big mess now on here where it all sucked in and all over there. So again, less holes. So we're going to move this out of the way. Now wax paper you can only use once, so that goes garbage. They also say that wax paper also helps sharpen your die. Oh, I'm going to flip it this way. And then, oh, look at that. Here, I'm going to drop you down. It's like confetti. I'm just going to drop you down. Straighten out my mat here. And then look at it jump. So anyway, my dad's singing. I don't know why I did that. I'm sorry if I annoyed you. Okay, so lots of it. Pop-dee-pop. Pop-dee-pop-pop. That was probably the quickest, right? Does that feel like it was the quickest? I don't know. It feels like it was the quickest. And now you see it's all pretty much done. I didn't have to do it because the wax really helps cut through. And the dryer sheet, if I went through a 3rd time, would probably suck out as much as well. And just so you know, with this die too, you can pop these tips up. So I think, I personally, like, if I was doing a batch of these, I think I would probably, I think so far I like, so this one seems to be the quickest. So I think I would use wax paper. I also feel like it's, I don't know, you guys tell me. I also feel like it's the cheapest method, but maybe I'm wrong. Now that you have done both methods, which do you recommend? Oh, so I think it's just preference. Me personally, I think I would use wax paper because I like the fact that although it created a confetti of a mess, I like the fact that I had less to clean up in the actual cardstock, right? Like you saw that between the differences. Now, you're more than welcome to go back and replay all 3 versions. The first one was without. So you can see how that pops up and now you have this cool design. And then the second one was with the dryer sheet. So it takes a little bit more muscle because that dryer sheet obviously adds a little bit more to the sandwich. So then I can, depending what your layout is, you can pop all those through. Now, of course, it would go flat in the card, but then when the person gets it, it might go a little higher. Now, let's clean this up again. So again, you just take this shake it over your garbage can. And a lot of it came out right away. So I just have a few pieces here. Very little. I leave my, to me, this is clean. And this does come with the accessory kit so that you can, so you're not doing, you can't do it on something flat. The wax paper looks, yes, I agree. The wax paper does look much easier. So now I'm going to grab my vacuum again and just suck all this up because there's quite a bit. I mean, again, you can just use your hand, but you know, when you can have fancy tools, why not have fancy tools? It's like baking. You know why my husband is such a great baker and why he loves to bake? Because he gets to use tools. He uses tools that get to plug in and do cool things. So, you know, we have the fancy KitchenAid. You know, I think it's like, it looks exactly the same, but it has a little bit more power or something to it. And then he has an attachment so he can make his own flour. Then he has another attachment. I can't remember what that one's for. But, you know, because it's toys. He loves it. Okay, so now that we have two pieces, I want to just quickly put them together onto a card. And I think you should be good to go after that. So I'm going to do, you know what? I think I'm going to do tone on this one. Just so you can see the difference. And then this one I'll go white. Just so that, because I want to show you, like, when you put this through, you will see the white, see how it shines through. And then on tone, you get the tone that kind of goes through. So let's just see what that looks like. And, oh, this is basic white. Oh, that's super light. Super light card base. But we don't have a lot going on that one, so it'll work. Okay, so I'm going to take 4 1/4 because this is your standard. Make sure I'm using my scoring tool. And then we're going to flip this. And this is pretty light cardstock because it's bubble bath. So when it's this light, I usually don't put a white piece of cardstock on the inside. I will leave it as is because you can just write on it, right? Let's make sure my edges look good. So I'm just taking my bone folder because this one spot looks like it's curling up. And now we're going to also trim this because it's too big. So I'm good there. So I'm going to try and trim this bottom and hope I don't get those circles in there. So I'm going to go to 4 inches, right? So it's going to cut right on those circles, which I don't really like, but it's okay. I need new blades and they're not coming till like Friday. Okay, and then we need 5 1/4. By the way, this one smells so yummy. Like right now, I can smell it. It's so like, so as I cut, it's like food. As I cut into it, you can now smell it. The more you stir, the more you smell. So I'm like, it smells like bounce. Okay, and then we're going to do, since we're here, we might as well do our second one. This back, let's see, where do I want to cut? I think it's probably safer if I cut down here because I already got holes and stuff there, and I'll get more holes here. So there's our one side, and then now we need to go 4. This one looks like it's been partially, so we're going to go to this side. 4 inches. This went to the edge of the die, so I can see where the die stops. So I'm going to cut this side. There. Now it looks like the die went all the way through. And then you get this where it kind of feels like it's ready to fall off. Okay. Messy. So, I don't even know what time is it. Oh, I have lots of time. But I just want to point out too that we have tons of what we call ephemera packs, and they're pretty much just die cuts, you know, that are ready to go and stick. And then we also have different sentiments. And then on page 29, we have a few more here. And what's really cool too is there's like, if you ever need inspiration, always go back to your catalogs because there's also templates. And then here on page 25, those ones are scrapbook templates. And then a bunch of samples. And then here there's card templates that you can actually use. So lots to choose from. And so we're using ephemera pieces today. And I just like to point out, when you open them, I like to store them in these little containers that I just got that I have lying around. And labels and layers. So then I put the name of it, the number, and how much it costs. Because all these pieces are really hard to stick back in the plastic. So then I just have all the pieces in there. So I get stacks. I have stacks of these for each ephemera pack. And then that way it makes it easier for me to go back to it. Okay, so for this, all we're going to do, and you can see it's tone on tone. So you see the pink underneath. We're just gonna grab our glue. I don't know where my silicone mat is. I must have packed it up and took it with me when we went to bingo, and now I can't find it. It's probably still in the box. I thought I cleaned everything out. Oh no, I'm looking over there and seeing I didn't. But then again, I'm going to crop, so I didn't really clean much out. Now, you're probably like, why is she scribbling adhesive all over the place? The holes are so small that it really doesn't impact whether or not it oozes. Like, I do try and avoid the bigger holes, but it really doesn't make much of a difference. So you stick that on there and it'll hold. Now I'm going to flip it so that I can make sure it's flat in there. Now we're good. So in that ephemera pack, there was these. So I thought I would just I colored it ahead of time. And there's also this little butterfly. So now we just need a sentiment for this one. And so we have lots. So this is a new one that's coming out in May called Words and Wishes. So I used that one earlier. And then we also have, and I think for this one, we have Reasons to Celebrate, of course. And then we have one of my other new favorites, which is Phrases and Frames. And I love this birthday one. And there's a happy anniversary, sending hugs, etc. So lots of little options to choose from. And then, of course, Reasons to Celebrate. So that is another favorite as well. So I think for this one, I'm going to use... where did it go? Oh, there it is. I'm going to use Words and Wishes. And there's Thank You in there. And I think I'm just going to use that one. And then there's also, maybe this one. I'm so lucky. Maybe I'll use this one. I'm so lucky to have you as a friend. It's about the same thickness. And then there's Happy Birthday to your name. You put the yay in every day. So, and then it comes with these gorgeous dies, which I have yet to play with. So this will definitely be a class series, a card class series next month. So watch for that. And then I wanted to just double check and see if that's one die. That one that says Happy Birthday to. Oh no, it's split. So there's Happy Birthday to. It is split up. I was like, oh my gosh, if that's one, that's crazy. Okay, so let's get that die, which says, what did I say? Oh, I'm so lucky to have you as a friend. I'm so lucky to have you as a friend. Oh, there it is. Found it. Sometimes it's hard to find, even though you have that backing there. It's hard to find when there's tons of sentiments. Okay, I'm going to go like that. And then I think, so I don't feel like heat embossing today. You're like, oh, Lilia, she's not heat embossing. We're going to grab, let's see. I don't know if it'll fit on a 1/2-inch strip. That would be a little, it actually does. It's pretty bang on. This one's too big. It's pretty bang on there. So, I'm going to use Secret C. I was going to say, let's use black, but Secret C is like my new black. It's my new black. Love the pink. Awesome. Me too. It's bubble bath. And then I colored the flowers in Gorgeous Grape, Fresh Freesia, and what else did I use? What was the other one? Flirty Flamingo. And then the leaves are just your standard Old Olive. There we go. I'm so lucky to have you as a friend. So that's great because you could just send it for no reason. Or you could send it with love. Or you could send it as a birthday card. So I'm just trying to decide if I should just put it right on top. And I think I might, because that's such a beautiful flower. I kind of like that. Yeah, it's just so simple. So simple. We're not doing anything fancy here. And I think I like it with the butterfly right there. Although the butterfly could also go over here. So that we have a 3-tier accent thing going on. Okay, so I'm going to grab... I don't even know if this is the Happy Layers, and I'm just going to use this edge here. Happy Labels Pick-a-Punch. Don't know if it's currently active, or what do you call it? This is 1/2 inch, so it should fit in the slot right there. And how much space do I have? Oh, I have quite a bit. Okay. I'm going to slide that in. I should have just trimmed it because it's so flimsy. There we go. There we go. I like to do mine upside down because then I can... This normally doesn't give me this much hassle. Come on. Are you in or what? There we go. But see, it's crooked on the other side. There we go. Now we're good. Okay. Now, in order to know how much space I need on this side, I just take that little piece and stick it there. And then just gonna mark it a bit. I'm gonna trim it. I can see my little crappy mark there. And then now I can trim it on the other side. Oh, it actually fit. I was like, oh. Sometimes what happens is there's no space. Like it's not long enough and you can't hold it down. Okay. Beauty. And that's going to sit there and our butterfly will sit up top. Okay, easy peasy. Let's move this. And then I'm going to grab some dimensionals. And we're going to lift this. I'm going to lift the whole thing. Because we can. Nobody says we can't. That's a little close together, in my opinion. But whatever. And I'm going to stick that there. And then this will go here. So we'll add a couple on the back. One on the end. One in the middle. And then I'll put a mini glue dot there. Just in case. Hold that. And I have no clue why I have all this extra. It's too lazy and forgot to rip it off, I guess. And then we're going to move the backings off these ones. Oh, hello, Kathy. Thanks for joining. I think I missed it. My apologies. Like that. And then we're going to add our butterfly, which I did in Pool Party. Pool Party Light and Dark. And just add that there. It's so pretty. It doesn't really need anything, to be honest. It's so gorgeous as is. And we'll just grab some gems. And we're going to use, we're going to use, what is this called? Can't see it. It has Calypso Coral, Petal Pink and White, Pearlized Faceted Circles. Just FYI, could be retired. I'm going to use these ones first. I have little pieces everywhere because they were either part of a kit, I should say strips, because They were either part of a kit before that I did for a class. So then you get all these little strips. And I'm just going to add that. I'm going to use the big ones because I want it to be bold. Maybe that one over there. And then another one. I'm going to tuck it underneath over there. I like it. So there you go. You are welcome, Margaret. Very, very welcome. It's a difficult die to work with, so or it looks intimidating, but it really isn't. And I wouldn't put a white sheet because it's bubble bath. So you can stamp whatever on the inside there. So you just have to let me know which one you like after. And I have a couple more to show you. Now with the other one, I've got some more ephemera pieces. I'm going to put these away because I don't think I'm going to use these colors for this one. Just slide these back in here because otherwise I'll lose it. Thank you, Chris. I'm glad you think it's pretty. Glad you like it. And this one fell off. I need to stick that back in there. Come on. Come on, peeps. Let's get back in there. Lots of pieces. There we go. Okay, for this one, what did I say? White, right? We're using white. And I have a piece of basic white, not thick. Okay, I gotta move everything around. I don't know why, but card making is so messy. Uses up so much stuff. But when I'm scrapbooking, maybe because it's a big 12 by 12, it's not as messy. I have that die and will definitely use. Yes, please do. Try them out. Try all the techniques out so you understand and can see for yourself what works, what doesn't work. And then it's really your own preference. And then you can see here, so you see how that piece is wobbly? So you can add a little bit of tape behind that if you like. Or we could add a mini glue dot. I'll just use a mini glue dot because my tape's not here. So that way it doesn't pop off. So that was this guy right here. So just add a mini glue dot there. That should hold it in place. See, now it's not moving. Okay, so you can see the white popping through. Oops, forgot I had that adhesive there. So again, we're just gonna add our glue. So all along the edge. So this is one of those cards where it's kind of difficult. Oops. So I try and avoid that one. Kind of difficult to put my middle initial on. Okay, just want to avoid those big holes. Like that. Hello, Nemi, not too smart. And I'm just going to squiggle and see where it lands. So don't want it there. You're getting yours on Thursday? Oh, sweet. Yeah, definitely. I'm sure you've tried these techniques already though, right? And you can see where I popped those flowers out. Oh, there was another one. I should have put another one there. Okay, so I'm going to flip it. Get that glue to stick. And I have 3 little doodads here. I thought it was really cute. And it's more like, happy birthday. And I thought we would stick that there with a happy birthday. So we still have this. So I'm going to pull the happy birthday for my 2026 virtual card making one because I really like that. And I probably need a thicker piece. I think for this one, it actually required using a bigger than a 1/2 inch. Yeah. See, it's just slightly bigger. So it's like 5/8 of an inch. And I think I originally, yeah, I'll show you in a second. So I'm going to clean this off and figure out where it belongs. I think it's this guy. And then I'm going to pick this up. And I have another piece here, so we'll trim it down after. Oh, yeah, this will fit. And so I'm going to grab my Secret C again. It's become my new black. And I'm going to tap, tap, tap. Tap, 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 tap. And then we're going to add that here. So I'm going to stick to the bottom as much as possible. Drop. Hopefully that's straight. Hard to tell with the camera in my way. Not bad, not bad. Then I'm going to grab my, wherever I stuck it. Oh, what a disaster. Hey, you want to see a sneak peek of one of my card swaps? Actually, it's a card swap, but then at the same time, it's also one of the cards for my card club this month or next month. So May's card club features the Fern and Flora Sweet collection. Oh my gosh, that paper. When I saw it, I was like, I'm hooked. I have a feeling it might be one of those two that sell out, but we'll see. So, happy birthday. So we're going to pop that right here. Look how big it is. I love how large it is. You know what? Let's do it in the center. Why not? And so I usually never do anything in the center because, one, I never can find the center. And it ends up being lopsided anyway. So I personally like to always go lopsided. And I like the look of it not being straight. I'm not one of those who likes things straight. So we're just going to plop that. I think that's about center. Just eyeballing it. And then our three dudes will just sit here. So I'm going to add in some glue dots. Again, behind Mr. Puppy. I think this one also has a cat. So just saying, I'm going to stick that right there. And then my birthday cake is going to pop in behind. So we'll stick one here. Oh, maybe it's only two. Yeah, let's just do two. 1, 2. And then we'll pop that in behind like so. The thing with these ephemeras, I've noticed, is they give you a really wide edge. I'm like, why is it so wide? So you can turn that down. And another trick to get rid of it is to take Pool Party. Oh, this one's too big. To take Pool Party blends and go around the edge. So it kind of turns it into that shadowed sticker. I should have showed you here. And then I'm going to stick my heart down here like so. Okay. Ta-da! That is that. And then we're going to grab, let's see, we've got some green. We have some brown. We also have some pink. And a little bit of, well, it is blue. So what's this one? Muted palette dyes. That's not supposed to go in there. They're not the same. Why is that in here? When it's not the same. I probably just stuck it in here because I had nowhere else to put it. Okay. That's rainbow. So I'm going to use these dark green ones to match his hat and kind of keep it more on the masculine look. So I'll stick one there. We could add the yellow. That would be kind of a nice touch as well. And maybe one there. I'm going to put a few. One over here. And then 4. I need a 5th. So maybe, yeah, that one. There we go. Okay. So that's it. So we used those really quickly, really well. So my focus was, so this was the original, remember? So we did this one without any help. And then this one was the dryer. No, this one was wax. This one was the dryer sheet. And this was another card I made earlier, so using wild wheat. So this one I did as a 4 1/4 by 4 1/4. And then here's another one where I was playing and I put white underneath the pink instead of pink on pink, instead of tone on tone. So there's white underneath that. And all of these are ephemera pieces. So this is another one that I did as well. So there you go, lots of easy. So ephemera just makes life so much easier. So I hope you learned a few tips and tricks using intricate die. And And you can also see how simple and quick and easy it is to put some ephemera onto your pieces. So I will see you again tomorrow. Hope you enjoyed that. Have a great day and happy stampin'. Bye for now.